Question 1. The fundamental rule of firearm safety states that you must treat every firearm as if it is A. Unloaded and safe to handle. B. Loaded and ready to fire. C. Only dangerous if the safety is off. D. Cleaned and properly maintained. Answer: B. Loaded and ready to fire. Explanation: treating every firearm as if it is loaded is the cornerstone of safe gun handling, ensuring you maintain proper muzzle control, keep your finger off the trigger, and are mindful of your target. This mindset prevents accidental discharges by assuming the highest level of risk is always present, regardless of whether you think the firearm is empty. By always handling a firearm with the respect due to a loaded weapon, you build safe habits that protect yourself and others. Make it a personal rule to always treat firearms with caution and respect. Question 2. When handling a firearm, your finger should be kept outside the trigger guard and off the trigger until A. The safety is engaged. B. You are certain the firearm is unloaded. C. Your sights are aligned on the target and you are ready to shoot. D. The firearm has been cleaned and inspected. Answer: C. Your sights are aligned on the target and you are ready to shoot. Explanation: keeping your finger straight along the frame and outside the trigger guard is a critical safety rule that prevents unintentional firing. Your finger should only move to the trigger when your sights are aligned on your intended target and you have made the conscious decision to shoot. This simple practice eliminates one of the most common causes of accidental discharges. Always keep your trigger finger straight and off the trigger until you are ready to fire. Question 3. The safest direction to point a firearm's muzzle is one where an accidental discharge would cause A. Minimum damage to property but could potentially cause injury. B. No injury to people and minimum property damage. C. No property damage but could potentially cause injury. D. Only injury to inanimate objects. Answer: B. No injury to people and minimum property damage. Explanation: a safe direction ensures that if the firearm were to discharge unintentionally, no person would be harmed, and any property damage would be limited or negligible. This might involve pointing the muzzle towards a sturdy floor, a cleared wall, or a designated backstop that can safely contain a bullet. Always being aware of and controlling where the muzzle is pointed is one of the most important safety principles. Constantly be mindful of your muzzle direction and point it in a safe area. Question 4. Before you shoot, the fourth rule of firearms safety requires you to be sure of your target and A. That your safety is engaged. B. What is beyond your target. C. That you have ear and eye protection on. D. The wind conditions. Answer: B. What is beyond your target. Explanation: knowing what is beyond your target is crucial because a bullet can travel a significant distance and penetrate many materials, potentially causing unintended harm or damage. You must identify your target positively and be certain that the area behind and around it is clear and safe. For example, shooting at a target with an open field or a safe backstop behind it is safer than shooting towards a building or populated area. Always confirm you have a safe backstop and know what lies beyond your target. Question 5. What does it mean to clear a firearm? A. To clean and lubricate all its parts. B. To ensure there is no ammunition in the chamber, magazine, or cylinder. C. To engage the safety mechanism. D. To load it with the correct type of ammunition. Answer: B. To ensure there is no ammunition in the chamber, magazine, or cylinder. Explanation: clearing a firearm is the process of safely removing all ammunition from the firearm, ensuring it is in a safe, unloaded condition. This involves removing the magazine, if applicable, checking the chamber visually and physically to ensure it is empty, and checking the cylinder in a revolver. A cleared firearm is confirmed to have no rounds remaining inside it, making it safe for storage or handling. Always clear a firearm immediately when you are done shooting or before storing it. Question 6. To safely check if a semi-automatic pistol is unloaded, after removing the magazine, you must A. Point it in a safe direction and pull the trigger. B. Engage the safety and place it on a table. C. Rack the slide fully rearward and visually and physically inspect the chamber. D. Insert an empty magazine. Answer: C. Rack the slide fully rearward and visually and physically inspect the chamber. Explanation: after removing the magazine from a semi-automatic pistol, a round may still be present in the chamber, which is the space where the cartridge sits just before firing. To ensure the firearm is truly unloaded, you must pull the slide back completely, rack the slide, to eject any round that might be in the chamber, and then look and feel inside the chamber to confirm it is empty. Always perform this visual and physical check after removing the magazine when clearing a semi-automatic. Question 7. Which part of a revolver contains the ammunition before it is fired? A. The magazine. B. The chamber. C. The cylinder. D. The slide. Answer: C. The cylinder. Explanation: a revolver's ammunition is held in the cylinder, which is a rotating part typically containing multiple chambers, usually 5 or 6, that align with the barrel when the hammer is cocked or the trigger is pulled. Unlike pistols that use magazines inserted into the grip, revolvers store cartridges in the cylinder. Understanding the basic parts like the cylinder helps you safely load, unload, and check the status of a revolver. Knowing how your firearm holds ammunition is key to handling it safely. Question 8. What are the 4 main components of a conventional firearm cartridge, a round of ammunition? A. Bullet, primer, case, gunpowder. B. Shell, lead, powder, cap. C. Projectile, casing, propellant, igniter. D. All of the above are generally correct terms for the components. Answer: D. All of the above are generally correct terms for the components. Explanation: while specific terms can vary slightly, a standard firearm cartridge consists of a projectile, often called the bullet or lead, a case, or shell/casing, that holds everything together, propellant, gunpowder or powder, that burns rapidly to create expanding gas, and a primer, or cap/igniter, that ignites the propellant when struck. Recognizing these parts helps understand how ammunition works and why handling it safely is important. Ammunition isn't just a bullet, it's a complex assembly designed to propel the projectile at high speed. Question 9. What is the most critical step in ensuring a firearm is safe to handle or store? A. Engaging the safety mechanism. B. Confirming it is unloaded. C. Storing ammunition separately. D. Checking if it is clean. Answer: B. Confirming it is unloaded. Explanation: confirming a firearm is unloaded by visually and physically checking the chamber, magazine well, and cylinder is the absolute most critical step before handling, cleaning, or storing it. Engaging a safety is important, but safeties are mechanical devices that can fail, so they should never be solely relied upon. Ensuring the firearm contains no ammunition removes the possibility of an accidental discharge. Always verify a firearm is unloaded before you handle it. Question 10. For safe storage in California, most firearms must be stored. A. Hidden from view. B. In a locked container or disabled with a California-approved safety device. C. Loaded for quick access in an emergency. D. With the magazine removed but the chamber loaded. Answer: B. In a locked container or disabled with a California-approved safety device. Explanation: California law requires most firearms to be stored in a locked container or to be disabled with a locking device certified by the State of California Department of Justice, DOJ, to prevent unauthorized access. This is a key measure to keep firearms out of the hands of children and individuals who should not have access to them. Utilizing a California-approved lock or safe ensures you comply with storage laws and enhance safety. Always store your firearm securely to prevent unauthorized access. Question 11. What is the primary purpose of locking devices or safes when storing firearms? A. To prevent the firearm from rusting. B. To make cleaning easier. C. To prevent unauthorized access to the firearm. D. To keep the firearm's parts together. Answer: C. To prevent unauthorized access to the firearm. Explanation: the main goal of using locking devices or safes for firearm storage is to prevent access by individuals who are not authorized to handle them, especially children. Secure storage significantly reduces the risk of accidents, misuse, or theft. For example, a cable lock or a safe keeps the firearm inaccessible to anyone without the key or combination. Secure storage is a vital responsibility of firearm ownership. Question 12. Where should ammunition be stored in relation to firearms? A. In the same locked container as the firearm. B. Inserted into the magazine but kept separate from the firearm. C. Stored separately from the firearm in a secure location. D. In an easily accessible location for quick loading. Answer: C. Stored separately from the firearm in a secure location. Explanation: storing ammunition separately from firearms is an important safety practice that adds an extra layer of security, even if the firearm is locked. If someone gains access to the firearm, they still would not be able to load or fire it if the ammunition is stored elsewhere and also securely. Keeping ammo separate makes it harder for an unauthorized person to make the firearm functional. Make sure both your firearms and ammunition are stored securely and separately. Question 13. Eye and ear protection should always be worn when shooting to prevent A. Discomfort from recoil. B. Injury from muzzle blast and flying debris, and permanent hearing damage. C. Difficulty focusing on the target. D. The firearm from overheating. Answer: B. Injury from muzzle blast and flying debris, and permanent hearing damage. Explanation: shooting produces extremely loud noise that can cause immediate and permanent hearing loss, and the firing process can release hot gases and small particles. Eye protection shields your eyes from potential injury caused by muzzle blast, ejected casings, or debris. Using both eye and ear protection every time you shoot is essential for preventing serious and irreversible injuries. Always wear approved eye and ear protection on the firing range. Question 14. What is the definition of a squib load? A. A cartridge loaded with too much gunpowder, causing excessive recoil. B. A failure of the primer to ignite the gunpowder, resulting in a click but no shot. C. A cartridge that fires but lacks sufficient power to push the bullet completely out of the barrel. D. A type of ammunition used for training purposes only. Answer: C. A cartridge that fires but lacks sufficient power to push the bullet completely out of the barrel. Explanation: a squib load is a dangerous malfunction where the bullet becomes lodged inside the barrel because the propellant either didn't ignite or burned with insufficient energy. Attempting to fire another round behind a squib can cause the barrel to burst, potentially leading to serious injury. If you hear a muffled shot or feel little recoil, stop immediately and check the barrel. Recognizing the signs of a squib load is vital for safe shooting. Question 15. If a firearm fails to fire when the trigger is pulled, a misfire, and you have followed all safety rules, you should A. Immediately open the action to remove the faulty cartridge. B. Point the firearm in a safe direction, keep your finger off the trigger, and wait a specific amount of time before opening the action. C. Hand the firearm to someone else to examine. D. Try pulling the trigger multiple times until it fires. Answer: B. Point the firearm in a safe direction, keep your finger off the trigger, and wait a specific amount of time before opening the action. Explanation: when a firearm misfires, fails to fire, there's a possibility of a hang fire, where there's a delayed ignition of the primer and powder. It's crucial to keep the firearm pointed in a safe direction, keep your finger off the trigger, and wait a specific period, typically 30 to 60 seconds, to see if the cartridge fires late. After the waiting period, and still keeping it pointed safely, you can then attempt to clear the firearm according to its type. Treating a misfire with caution prevents potential injury from a delayed discharge. Question 16. The action of a firearm refers to the part that A. Houses the trigger and trigger guard. B. Loads, fires, and ejects cartridges. C. Provides a grip for the shooter. D. Directs the bullet's path. Answer: B. Loads, fires, and ejects cartridges. Explanation: the action is the mechanical assembly of a firearm that operates the loading, firing, and unloading cycles. For instance, in a bolt-action rifle, the bolt is part of the action. In a semi-automatic pistol, the slide is a major part of the action. Understanding the action helps you safely handle and clear a firearm by knowing how it cycles ammunition. Getting familiar with how your specific firearm's action works is key to safe handling. Question 17. Which part of a firearm spins the bullet, improving its accuracy? A. The chamber. B. The muzzle. C. The rifling inside the barrel. D. The firing pin. Answer: C. The rifling inside the barrel. Explanation: rifling consists of spiral grooves cut into the inside surface of the barrel. As the bullet travels down the barrel, these grooves cause it to spin rapidly along its long axis. This spin stabilizes the bullet's flight, much like the spin on a football or gyroscope, making its trajectory more accurate. Without rifling, most bullets would tumble randomly in flight. The rifling is what makes a firearm more accurate over distance. Question 18. When should you confirm that a firearm is unloaded? A. Only when receiving it from someone else. B. Only when preparing to store it. C. Only before cleaning it. D. Every time it is picked up or handed to you. Answer: D. Every time it is picked up or handed to you. Explanation: you should confirm that a firearm is unloaded every single time you pick it up or receive it from someone else, regardless of whether you believe it is empty. This ritual reinforces the rule of treating every firearm as if it is loaded and ensures you know its condition firsthand before handling it. Never take someone else's word that a firearm is unloaded, always check it yourself. Question 19. A semi-automatic pistol typically feeds ammunition from A. Cylinder. B. Magazine. C. Tubular feed device. D. Belt. Answer: B. Magazine. Explanation: semi-automatic pistols are designed to hold ammunition in a detachable or fixed magazine, which is usually inserted into the grip. After each shot, the firearm uses some of the energy to cycle the action, ejecting the spent cartridge case and feeding a new round from the magazine into the chamber. This is a key feature distinguishing them from revolvers. Magazines are a vital component in the operation of semi-automatic firearms. Question 20. It is the responsibility of the firearm owner to prevent A. The firearm from being used in a crime. B. The firearm from being fired outside a shooting range. C. Unauthorized individuals, especially children, from gaining access to the firearm. D. The firearm from rusting in storage. Answer: C. Unauthorized individuals, especially children, from gaining access to the firearm. Explanation: firearm ownership comes with significant responsibility, particularly regarding safe storage to prevent unauthorized access. Owners must take steps, such as using locks or safes, to ensure that their firearms do not fall into the hands of individuals who could misuse them or who are legally prohibited from possessing them, especially children. Secure storage is a fundamental duty of every firearm owner. Question 21. Which of the following is a common type of ammunition used in shotguns? A. Centerfire cartridges. B. Rimfire cartridges. C. Shot shells. D. Blanks. Answer: C. Shot shells. Explanation: shotguns primarily use shot shells, which are typically larger cartridges that contain either a charge of small pellets, shot, or a single large projectile, slug. Unlike rifle or handgun cartridges, which are often brass-cased with a single bullet, shot shells are usually made of plastic or paper hulls with a metal base. Understanding the specific type of ammunition your firearm uses is essential for safe and proper function. Always use the correct type and gauge/bore of shot shells for your specific shotgun. Question 22. What part of a cartridge contains the explosive that ignites the gunpowder when struck by the firing pin? A. The bullet. B. The case. C. The primer. D. The propellant. Answer: C. The primer. Explanation: the primer is a small component located at the base of the cartridge case, typically in the center for centerfire or on the rim for rimfire, that contains a small amount of impact-sensitive explosive. When the firing pin strikes the primer, it detonates, creating a spark or flame that ignites the main charge of gunpowder, propellant. The primer is the starting point for the firing sequence. Question 23. When handling or transferring a firearm, it should always be pointed in a safe direction, and you should visually and physically verify: A. That the safety is engaged. B. That it is unloaded. C. That it is clean and lubricated. D. That it has the correct sights. Answer: B. That it is unloaded. Explanation: the fundamental safety rule of treating every firearm as if it were loaded means you must always point it in a safe direction and confirm its unloaded status by performing a visual and physical check before handling or transferring it to another person. While safeties are important, verifying the absence of ammunition is the most reliable way to ensure the firearm cannot fire. Always perform a chamber check and confirm the firearm is unloaded before handing it to someone else. Question 24. The part of a firearm that is pulled or squeezed by the shooter to fire the weapon is the A. Hammer. B. Bolt. C. Slide. D. Trigger. Answer: D. Trigger. Explanation: the trigger is the control lever that, when activated by the shooter, initiates the firing sequence by releasing the hammer or striker to strike the primer. Keeping your finger off the trigger until you are aligned on the target and ready to shoot is a critical safety rule directly related to this part. The trigger is the direct link between your decision to shoot and the firearm firing. Question 25. Which type of firearm typically has a rotating cylinder that holds the ammunition? A. Semi-automatic pistol. B. Pump-action shotgun. C. Bolt-action rifle. D. Revolver. Answer: D. Revolver. Explanation: a revolver is a handgun characterized by a rotating cylinder containing multiple chambers that each hold a single cartridge. As the action is cycled, either by cocking the hammer or pulling the trigger, the cylinder rotates to align a fresh chamber with the barrel. This cylinder is the defining feature that differentiates revolvers from other types of handguns like semi-automatic pistols. Recognizing a revolver by its cylinder is a basic firearm identification skill.